Recording. Hi, I'm Jennifer Roberts. You're catching me on my YouTube channel, Bitchute channel, both being True Divine 44. You can get me on my Facebook page at True Divine 44, and it is the True Divine for both Instagram and Twitter. Any likes, shares, comments or follows are greatly appreciated. It helps me grow my business, and it also helps me grow the platforms that I can get out the messages that I try to put out to help support, guide and inspire the people who want to be supported, guided and inspired. So this is, if you're celebrating Christmas Eve. I'm very excited,
and if
Theodore.
You saw out your window, you might saw snow.
Well, that depends where they are in the world, baby, because today especially, we've had a lot of rain and stuff, but it started to snow.
Because if you look out your window quick enough before it disappeared, you will see that snow.
Yes, yeah, if you're in the UK or many other places. But
I saw out my mother's window at her room.
Yeah, my mother. So this is the 24th, regardless, whether you're celebrating Christmas or whether you are just processing the day, whether you are just spending the day with family and having fun. I wanted to still jump on here to give you guys what I promised to deliver as much as I can, the free readings that I put out. This is where I combine the energy work that I do and the tarot work that I do to bring you the messages to help you navigate your day, to help you process the energies that you feel within, around you and within others. Yes, happy Christmas. You're going to say happy Christmas to everyone. Let mommy do this reading then, because we've got a busy day. So I want to get this out, okay? Good boy. Good boy. Thank you, Theodore. Thank you, Theodore. So this is for the 24th.
It's just a washing machine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just draining. This is our spring cycle.
I'm a mother. I was going to say. So this is for the 24th of December 2020. I appreciate you all being here and listening and taking note of the messages that I give out. It's important to me that I get them out there, and you guys listening and commenting mean the world to me. So share this video out if you feel you can be led to do so. I really would appreciate that. So this is for, I've got a weird twitch in my eye. Sometimes I get this and it's twitching. So this is for the 24th. So we've got the 9 of Wands. So this is speaking about really, very intensely speaking about the fact that we need to be so discerning, that we need to be so able to stop and think and then stop and rethink, because the psyops is strong and real. It's game on with the psyops. The powers that be are terrified right now, and they are trying to process their plans as they plan them, and the people that are coming up against that, it's powerful. So you being discerning, you not just absorbing anything that they put out there, is super important and is getting the message across. And so it's important that we do this over this holiday season. I just feel this energy of the duality of the people who are of this 9 of Wands, who are battered and bruised and tired, but warrior-like. It hasn't battered and bruised them down, it's battered and bruised them into somebody and something that is so strong and so determined to process and think of a different path, a different way, and to not fall into any of the traps that are being laid for them. And so there's that strong energy here. But we also see with this, there are many more wands being put in as obstacles, you know, because of this terror that the powers that be are feeling. And so in our personal lives, this is reflected also in that it might be that some of you are coming up against the fact that you're awake and aware to the fact that, you know, we've been bombarded with many, how do I say it, pathogens, like for a long time. Go back to Jenna, you know, in history, and you'll see that this has been going on for a long time, and has been an avenue that has been abused for a long time. And we've always, you know, seen it, being with family, being together as much more important and worth any risk than before. But now we see that there are parts of our families, there are parts of our circles that are falling into the fear that have been subject to and absorbed the low frequency magic that has caused this fear. And so we see here that we have this 3 of Cups to clarify this 9 of Wands. And this is where we see that it's a bit disappointing to some of you that the people around you that you may be able to spend this time with usually are not willing or not open to spending this time with you, and that can be upsetting. And I want to say to you guys to stop and discern before you react and overreact. Understand that some people just were primed and ready to fall for this. Some people are just not ready and are just not it's not part of their path to be like you, to help liberate and free this realm, this reality from the chains that have been put around it. So to remember to be compassionate and understanding to that, almost as if you're dealing with somebody who is mentally incapacitated right now. They are mentally incapacitated by fear. They're locked down by fear. So to be really discerning about your reaction even to that. And also it is to speak of that we see right now that with this 3 and this 9 of Wands, we see right now that this man in this 9 of Wands has been persecuted. He's battered, he's bruised, he's tired. He's holding up that wand and he's stabilized the others behind him. And he's holding up that wand to get to that 10 of Wands, to end a very brutal cycle in your life. That, you know, is at a point of not breaking, but at a point where you feel like you're going to break. And it's at that point that you get this second wind, this determination. And we look at this time that's been happening since the solstice and since this magical alignment of Jupiter and Saturn, the 2 such opposite energies of planets. And so we see that this has been spoken of as the Star of Bethlehem time and happening 800 years ago. And I want to talk about that in that right now, these people, these so-called powers that be, and some of the people in our individual lives are trying to crucify us. They're trying to literally demonize love, demonize togetherness, demonize celebration with this 3 of Cups and camaraderie with this 3 of Cups. They're trying to separate that. And so just like in the story, whether you believe it or not, in the story, it is that, you know, the man that preaches about love and acceptance and compassion is nailed to a cross. And it's at that point that Christ is born, that Christmas is born. Not Jesus is born, Christmas is born, Christ is born. And that's the Trinity that we see here in this 3 of Cups. And so I want to say to you, no matter how despondent you feel about being separated because some of your family members or friends have fallen into this fear trap, don't see this as a punishment the way that they want it to be. See this as your rebirth, as your higher consciousness being reborn. And with that comes some heavy burdens. It becomes having some understanding and understanding and compassion to they know not what they do. And a lot of these people in your family that you would usually celebrate with or be with or friends, they know not what they do. And I wanted to speak of that because I think it's going to speak to a lot of you, in that it is this higher consciousness that understands how and why they've fallen into this trap. And not to carry hatred for it, but to not do what the powers that be want you to do, which is hate, separate, divide. Infuse love into this situation. Be discerning as to not fall into the trap of them literally they've laid the path for people to argue, for people to separate, for people to be so butthurt that they don't ever speak again, for families to not talk for years thereafter. Don't give them that today. See this as such a special day, as you know, the labor process of that can be painful, of you having your Christ consciousness born, of you being able to see and discern and understand, understand the need for what we need to do going forward, for what we need to leave behind, and to not fall into the numerous traps that these so-called powers that be are put in before us. And therefore, some people in our individual lives are working alongside them, again, not knowing fully what they do. To not fall into that trap is so important. So be so discerning and find the Trinity in you. Allow that to be born today and tomorrow. Allow yourself to go through this process that the energies are there to support you through, even if you're alone. Maybe, just maybe, this is part of the reason that everything that is meant for bad can be made for good. And for those that are ready, this could be a reason that you need some kind of silence, that you need some kind of alone time to deeply feel these energies of rebirth, being reborn into a completely higher consciousness, into the age of Aquarius, thinking outside the box, being about the collective, being compassionate, thinking of different ways to serve yourself and mainly the people. And so this can be special no matter what, and don't fall into the trap of seeing it through the lens that the so-called powers that be want you to see it through. And so that's a super important message for a lot of you. We go to the next card, and the next card is the 10 of Swords. And so this speaks of you've gone from that 9 of Wands and you've managed to discern, and you've managed to end this another cycle. And as I say, this keeps coming up because this isn't going to go away just like that. This is a roll in, it's a rollout of energies and directions that we go in depending on our reactions to things and what we manifest. And you see here, this is a brutal card. You know, that it's a stormy sea. There are 10 swords in this person's back. There is no space for any more swords. And this is, yes, painful, but on the other hand, it's that moment that this warrior, this 9 of Wands warrior, sees that you haven't even got any more room. Throw as many swords as you like. They're just going to ricochet off the others. There's no more room in my back. You've got every vertebrae. There's no space for anything else. Throw what you like and I'll discern my way out of it. I'm finished. I'm at that stage where I get my second wave, where I get this warrior-like energy, this Christ consciousness-like energy.
Well, here I am.
That you've been crucified and reborn.
Well, here I am.
Here you are, Theodore.
Mom.
1 second, baby, because I'm doing this video.
When you're done with this video, can you type in on YouTube sketch?
Yes.
That's actually a YouTuber's name.
Yes, go on then.
I guess you like sketchy.
Mummy will check it out.
I guess you like sketchy.
Okay, well, I'll check it out soon. Thank you.
I don't know what's in sketchy.
Okay.
Is he like sketchy for everyone?
Yeah. So, you know, like a child, what's going on apart from what we make of it? You know, this 10 of Swords is that, you know, what rules are you putting before me right now? I know my high consciousness. I know that I am divine and sovereign. I know I didn't come here to be ruled by puppets that are being ruled by beings behind them that literally don't even know how to show love. They don't even know how to have empathy and compassion. Who are you to tell me? What other sword are you going to tell me that would cause me any more harm? Because I can see, I can discern, I can predict even what you're going to do next, because I've been watching, because I see what you do. And that filters down to the people that we have in our individual lives as well, that it gets to the point of the saying, well, fine, throw your swords. You've thrown so many now, I've lost count. Look, there's no more space in my back. Throw them. What are they going to do? Ricochet off one of the others that I've already learned from, that I've already seen and discerned and gotten the lessons from? What are you going to do? You've given me a new spine by throwing all of these swords. You've given me a new backbone by throwing all of these new swords. It's created a backbone. So where some people might be in sorrow and some people might be in this victimhood, there are so many of you out there right now that are saying, hold on a minute, you've given me a metallic backbone, titanium backbone. What are you going to do? I'm not afraid. I'm not even offended. What are you going to do? And so you see the energy of that to go into the powers that be, the so-called powers that be, is so powerful. It's terrifying to them. And in your individual lives, all of these people that have been these characters in your play so far, that have tried to trap you, that have tried to belittle you, that have tried to limit you, tried to coerce you into things that are not good for you. It's like, it's this rebirth. It's like, I'm done. Throw them. They're not even gonna come near me. My frequency's up here, and you're throwing swords that belong down here. They're just gonna go straight past, or we're still looking at boomerang and come right back around at you. That's where we're at right now, and that's part of the separation of the people who are of this higher consciousness that is being reborn and rebirthed like never before. Or there's people that are of this lower consciousness, this lower vibration that you know are literally swirling around. You know, I'm melting. You know, they're a mess. They're melting. You know, it's like those witches that you pour water on and they're melting. And what's the mythology that you do that with? It's like this holy water, isn't it? It's this blessed water. For me, it's just the waters of the within, of the higher consciousness, of the people who have attained higher consciousness, who can speak to their own waters, who can speak to their own mind, and you know, anoint it in a way that it is so powerful. And so we've got the star card to clarify this 10 of swords. And the star card, there's so much about the as above, so below right now. It's never been more intense or more real, that term, the as above, so below, as within, so without. And so when you're birthing yourself into this higher consciousness, into this higher frequency, this star card speaks of healing. It speaks of hope for the future. It speaks of change. It speaks of visionary. It speaks of, you know, being able to have foresight, being able to process even the deepest wounds, even the every vertebrae stabbed in the back wounds, being able to process them into a power, into an energy that literally transforms the outside reality that exists. And so this is where we are at, and this is such a special time for you all that resonate with this reading, and it's such a powerful time. You may feel like the earth is moving. I've felt that a little bit over the last 4 days. Like I feel like the earth is moving in a different way. It feels like it's tilted in a different way. And so you might feel that this out-of-body type experience, and this is part of your rebirth. This is part of your higher consciousness saying, now we're connected. And this is what the star card speaks of: connection to self, learning from self, learning from all of those harsh lessons in that 9 of Wands, in that 10 of Swords, and bringing this celebration within this Trinity with this 3 of Cups, the Trinity of you connecting that all the aspects of you. So now on the third card, we have the Ace of Pentacles. Now you see this is a pentacle, earth, sustainability, all of the financial things, all of the homes, the things that you need to exist in this reality, but not just exist, enjoy it. It's an abundant card. And so this is a hand coming from the heavens, and it's speaking of the energies that are around us right now. It's speaking of the reason that they are working so hard to lock down, muzzle up, separate, is because everything about this new cycle that we're coming into is about connection. It's about understanding. It's about wanting the good for the collective. It's about protecting the people, protecting people around you. It's about community. And so there's such abundant energy right now that we all need to hook into and connect to through being in our higher consciousness state. And this is why they're having to work so damn hard to lock down this cycle, this process, because this is their time. The time's up, tick-tock. But still, it is still up to us. Nothing is written in stone here, that it is still up to us in order to see this abundance, to see this new way forward, and to exude that with every particle of our being, every layer and every aspect of our being. And so we have the Ace of Wands here, but it's in reverse. And so the Ace of Wands speaks of passion. It speaks of going forward. It speaks of being connected to what you want to achieve. And this speaks of, in reverse, plans not going quite to plan. Now, for me, this means that some people are going to fail at this. Some people are going to fail to feel this abundant energy. Some people are going to fail to feel the power that actually all of this negative energy has given them, all of the lessons. There's some people are going to fail to process that and connect into the energies in the higher state. But also for the powers that be, the so-called powers that be, certain plans, you're going to see them make some real mess-ups. Truth is leaking out. Two aces together can sometimes mean trickery. And so there's a trick here. They're trying to veil the abundance. They're trying to veil the abundance of the togetherness. They're trying to cause it to be that people would separate even more and fight even more and be frightened even more. And there are certain plans, particularly regarding the lorries. I had a vision yesterday of the lorry drivers just driving through the blockade. We've got lorry drivers that stuck in the UK here, just stuck, not being allowed because of Brexit to move. And that is a deliberate thing to stop, people, to make people be in fear that the abundance isn't there. Remember the toilet roll rush? We've got that, going on, and they're trying to make these plans. But I saw a few of the lorry drivers getting so sick and so fed up, they just drove through the blockades. So that would be super interesting and super cool if that happens today. But there's certain plans of these so-called powers that be that aren't going to plan. Why? Because there are many more of us than we think that have gone through this process and are going through this rebirth right now, and have been chiseling ourselves and polishing ourselves throughout this whole lifetime, but in particular this whole 2020 and what they meant for harm, we are transmuting into good. Again, be discerning, be very, very discerning. That is the key word as to what plans you make and who you go forward with. In your individual life, there are tricksters, and they are very apparent. They are in full force as a reflection as the above, so below. And so there might be some people that would try and waylay your plans, try and sabotage your plans. So be very discerning as to that. But make your plans. Don't give up. That 9 of Wands into that 10 of Swords, this is a powerful time for you to rebirth, to be reborn, to feel the tingle of the higher consciousness. And it's so exciting, and I'm smiling because you can't help but smile when you see a baby being born. Even if that person isn't connected to you or a relative to you, you see a baby being born and this smile comes over your face. And you get teary-eyed. because it's such a beautiful thing. It's such a magical thing. It's such an unbelievable thing when you look at it and you see it and you feel the energies and the connections of the mother and the child, the father and the child. And that's what I feel is happening for all of you that resonate with this reading. The smile that I feel, the tears that are welling up is this pride, is this beauty of this beautiful being that is being reborn, that you've been carrying like a mother, like a father, and nurturing and growing. And then it's just birthing from you, and it's all of light. And I can see this light around so many of you starting to just appear into that electromagnetic field. An aura, a change in aura. It's where other auras are getting smaller and in some cases non-existent. There's you expanding and birthing this light, this beauty, this. You get lost for words. And so we've got the Empress on the bottom of the deck, and this is, we've got the Empress on the bottom of the deck, and she's been making herself very apparent. And remember, this is the wisdom of knowing through our thoughts, our words, and our deeds, we create our reality. And so this is where, you know, we create this power to manifest, to stop speaking of the end of the world, to stop. I don't know what is happening to my camera. It's when the energy goes, something happens. So this is about to be discerning, yes, to be observant, yes, and to certainly discuss with each other, because that's what they're trying to stop. But always knowing that that's not how it's going to end up, though. That we're going to speak power into this. We're going to speak warrior energy into this. We're going to speak beauty and abundance into this. We're going to speak things that make us feel good. We're going to do things that make us feel good. One of the things that happens when people feel low, and all of 2020 has been a means of that they were doing torture, that they would psychologically damage people by being kind to them 1 minute and pulling back the next, kind to them 1 minute, pulling back the next, locking you down, imprisonment, isolation, all of these things that they've tried to manifest through their thoughts, and they've tried to channel our thoughts to be that of a depressed state, that of a weak state, that of a victimhood state. The Empress doesn't deal with that. The Empress deals with beauty and abundance. And sometimes a lot of times when people get depressed, they stop taking care of themselves. They stop looking after themselves. They stop being ritualistic. They stop doing their hair. So do things that on the outward support this inner knowing of you needing to speak positivity, beauty, and abundance. Do things and take time to appreciate yourself and be ritualistic about putting on your jewelry, whatever it is you do, brushing your hair, brushing your teeth, because when you get low, all of that goes. And so this is true, the true wisdom and knowing that through your thoughts, your words, and your deeds, you create your reality, which is why they work so goddamn hard to make us create the reality that they want. All of the programming that goes out. Look at V for Vendetta, look at Utopia, all of the programming that goes out to try and implant things in your mind so that then you go forward and manifest, because they can't create this reality that we've been living in on their own. They need the collective manifestation of it in order to be able to create the systems that they've created. And so when we are liberating ourselves from the need for leaders, what are you doing, Theodore? From the need for leaders, from the need for somebody to tell us what to do or save us from ourselves, we're liberating ourselves from this. All of a sudden, we are creating and manifesting something that is of our power, that is of our will, not of the programmed will. And so this is where the wisdom is. Underneath her is the 10 of Cups. Underneath that is the sun. This is all just here for us to grab. This is all just here for us to recognize the power that we have within, to recognize the power of our manifestations, of our words and our thoughts and our deeds. And so on the bottom of the deck, we have on the other one, on the clarifying deck, we have the Two of Cups. And this is about the divine balance in you, the divine feminine, divine masculine, and about the compassion. There's a lot of soulmate energy here. A lot of you who maybe had a run-in with a real soulmate. I don't say that term easily, you know, where you just have a real connection to somebody that, you know, you've known that you've either been in lifetimes before with them, or you just knew that you made a pact to meet up in this lifetime. There might be a lot of thoughts surrounding that coming in for you today, and that means there's a lot of thoughts for them coming around. It might be that some of you get surprise messages from people like that, you know, didn't work out before. Again, be discerning, because there are tricksters, but there are some of you that are getting this and it is real. And so be aware of that. That's something that could be, it's good for some, bad for some. You know, it's a real, again, this duality of the energies. And so this is where you create that discernment. But for some of you, that's then, for some of you, that's real special. And it's something to nurture. So I think Theodore wants me to finish now. Hint, hint. Yes. So I'm going to let you guys go. And I appreciate you all being here. I appreciate you all putting up with little legs here, this aquarium barbarian. Take a leaf from Theodore's book. He looks at the rules and says, nah, they don't work for me. And, you know, is quite happy to bombard himself into whatever he needs to do to get what he needs and what he wants. And so this little boy, he thinks big. He's got plans. He's got ideas, you know. He's got a lot of energy, and he's not afraid to use it. And so, you know, maybe we can take from the mouths of babes, take a leaf from this little babe here to just, you know, be this aquarium barbarian. Bombard your way through the rules that are being set before you, that would separate and isolate you from where you're meant to be, who you're meant to be with. And don't do that, Theodore. Who you're meant to be with, and what you know you're meant to be doing. So I'm gonna let you go. I love you all so much. If you'd like a personal reading with me, if you would like any energy work sessions, I'm very good at channeling energy, or any spiritual guidance sessions, then you can hook up with me, and I promise Theodore will not be around. You can hook up with me at truedivinemedia@gmail.com, or you can get me on my Facebook business page at truedivine44 and send me a private message. This is the energy that I think children get when they know things, good things are happening, you know, it's exciting. So you can imagine what my week has been like. I love you all. Stay balanced and stay whole. Stop it, Theodore. Stop. No, that was very naughty.